I'm going to record it for whoever makes it. Um, so, so more or less, you're going to be the eyes on the road. I'm going to, the way the bike marshals, you know, I think you got your assignment. I split you up into areas. Um, and then taking over, there's like a colored part, and I'll go over that. But the goal is really to make sure that the riders see you, feel supported, and that you're kind of watching them. If you see someone that's, you know, looking a little tired or something like that, you know, you may want to say, you know, do you feel okay, or are you doing okay? Your eyes on the bikes, you know, seeing if something, you know, if you hear something or whatever, and you want to, you know, say that maybe you should, you know, you want to check something out, or do they want to stop? But the other thing is being a role model in terms of safety. That it I know sometimes on these beautiful roads, it's so easy to like spread across and just, you know, just go and kind of not pay attention because you're not in the city and there aren't a lot of cars. The problem is that because there aren't a lot of cars, normally the cars know that there aren't a lot of cars, and they go speeding so fast down some of those roads. So even when it looks like it's nice and clear, we really try and keep everyone, you know, to the right, single file as best, you know, you know, we want people to talk and have, you know, have a good time too, but, you know, pretty much keeping them as single file as possible and obeying, you know, the road, you know, signs. And we do have policemen who are going to, you know, check, you know, tell people like to wait, not wait. And we really don't have any problem. We haven't had, you know, any rider problems with anything like that. But I just, you know, I'm just asking, especially, it just seems, and I hate to even bring this up, but it just seems that there are a lot more cyclist accidents from cars and stuff these days. And so just, you know, I just want everyone to, you know, keep everyone as safe as you can. And the other part is really to encourage everyone. There will be people there who haven't been on a bike in a while and are doing it for, you know, they're just out of treatment, or they're doing it for their sister or whoever, and they're not necessarily cyclists. This isn't a race where we have, you know, people who are very good cyclists. These are people who are doing it for a cause. And so, you know, they may need encouragement. They may even need a little help with, you know, their shifting or something like that. Before all of you were on, I was telling the few who got on a little earlier that you know, I'm a little concerned, but I feel that you guys will help with this piece, is that the beginning where it's the 50 and the 25 is now it used to be the end of the route in the past. So now it is the beginning, and it is a little bit hilly, and I want to make sure that the 25 milers who are starting the ride don't get discouraged over the hill. I mean, it does you know, that area, it's hilly no matter what, but I don't want them to get discouraged right away thinking, oh, you know, this is going to be really hard. So, you know, your encouragement along the way will be, you know, really welcomed, you know, and just keeping them going. There's a few things that this ride actually is much smaller than we've had in the past. I think, you know, with COVID and the rain, it really took a while to gear up again. And so now we're gearing up again. And of course, we want everyone here to, you know, help make the experience just a really special experience, so that people, the riders, talk about it, come back, and, you know, encourage others for the next year. It's almost like we're having to start again or whatever, but the good part is that we have a great foundation in place already. But so that being said, I wanted to go through some of, I'm going to share my screen and kind of go over the route first. And where is, I'm not so techie. Oh, here's my route. Okay. That's a little cut off. So those of you who were bike marshals got this one, which is colored. And it's a little cut off, but wait, is that because, oh yeah, here, I'm gonna move that. So here is where we're starting from, the Comos Inn. And just for reference from last year, I'm gonna tell you this is where, right about here, is where the Barnesville School was. So it's not that different, but just so you know what, what's happened and what's changed. Before, when we were at the Barnesville School, we went down here, we went down this way, around, through the orange, up here, the purple, then did the pink and came back. Now we're starting at Comos Inn and doing the pink part first. So the people who've always done the 25 are actually going to be doing a part that they've never done before. So, so they're going to go up, and I don't know how familiar you are, but then we go into Shiloh Church. And again, this is where this Comos part is kind of hilly. And then it's like a nice uphill, and then there's a downhill right before you make your right. So I have people on that corner, and I'm talking, actually, when this is over, I have a conversation with the cop to see if we're going to have a cop at that place too. But then they go down Shiloh till they cut over to West Old Baltimore, Slidell, Barnesville. Then, Barnesville is another very busy street. They hit Clarksburg, go through 117 on Clarksburg, and then go down White Ground, and that's where we hit our first rest stop, which is the softball field, the UMAC little softball field. Then we go up White Ground, Old Buck Lodge, which isn't bad. Buck Lodge is a busy street. We turn up White Store and get to Peachtree, and this is where we split. So I know, Leslie, you said that you are the sweep for the middle part. We actually don't have the 40-mile route anymore. We just have the 2 routes.
Oh, okay.
So I think I just put you either at the end or in the middle of the 50. But
okay.
We can go over that. But at Peachtree, when they come out of White Store, the 25 milers are going to go right, and the 50 milers are going to go left. They're going to just cut through, they're going to Peachtree cut through Selman. I actually made a change for where our rest stop is, so that the rest stop is right over here in Selman, the second rest stop for the 25. They go down Billsville, and for those of you who remember, Billsville is, after Owens, you go up and you turn down Big Woods. So here now the 25 and the 50 meet up at Big Woods. So both of these rest stops are for the 25 and this is the rest stop for the 50. These are both about 10 miles to the end of the route. So you go through, they're going to go through this part of, and then back to Comos Inn. So the blue and the orange people, blue and orange people are only for the 50 milers, and the pink people are going to take everyone 25 and 50s through. I then said, for those who are doing the pink, if you wanted to scoot over to the orange and help with the orange, you can either come back if you want, But if you wanted, after your pink portion is done, to scoot over and help with the 50 working backwards, and all you would do is, go with the 25 miler people and just meet up and go backwards. And then the people who are doing the purple, it's a long, it's a short, it's a 10-mile difference. It's a 10-mile piece, but it's a little bit long because the 25 milers are going to get there, they could be there by 10 something, or not even, like 10:30, whatever. And the last people from the 50 may not get to this area until like 1 or something like that. So you can, I'm trying to see who I have on the purple. I have Ruth, I have Josh, and I have Jerome. If that's a problem being like that late or whatever, let me know, and I can either switch someone around, or there is someone who's okay with that. But I did want to bring that up because this last piece, according to my spreadsheet, if I have the slowest person going at 8 miles per hour. So so it's really slow, but you don't know if somebody's gonna stop or whatever. So I have the last person coming in at 2:43, according to my calculation. So if you do need to switch or something with that, let me know. And then, as I said, I had the people who are on pink. I have Jim B, Daryl, and Kent. When you're done with the pink, you can, help and work backwards with the orange. I do want to also bring up that, one of the things that we've done in the past that has worked is having some of the people start backwards and kind of work backwards until they see the first rider, and then they start riding with them and then go back, so that people are always covered. I tried to get at least, there's a few, everyone has a partner, at least one other person, and then there are some that have 3. The places, and hopefully, like, when the pink finish or the blue finish, they can go on or they can go back, and you will know that the last rider is there when Jim is going to be Jim Youngblood is the 50-mile sweep, and he will be at the end, and behind him will be a car that is also our 50-mile car. The 25-mile sweep, I don't know if he came while I was here with my thing, but On is going to be the 25-mile sweep. And Leslie, we can decide if you want to be a sweep or if you want to join one of these or whatever.
Sure.
We don't have the 40. I'm going to stop sharing. So the when you're going back and forth and trying, I gave a 10-mile difference to go back and forth, and I think, who is it, Randy and Kevin, I have you doing the whole 50-mile, so so you'll kind of stay in the middle of the bulk of the riders, and I think you've done this many years, so you know what to do.
I usually complete it with the group who takes off, then I come back and just look for stragglers.
Right. Thank you for doing that. I don't know, that's a hard one. So anyway, there we do have but then so Michael is in orange. I'm just looking at who's here that has, I did the purple, and Sardar, you are the aqua part of that map.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
I'm on orange.
Yes.
So, and I reading over the instructions, should I come in the morning to the Comus Inn and we all meet? And then I'll hop in my car with my bike and drive to the beginning of the orange segment.
Yes. Let me put the map back up for a second.
From reading it, it sounded like I needed to come to the Comus Inn, then go to my orange section and ride it forwards and then backwards. My only question is, when do you think people will be showing up at the beginning of the orange?
Okay, so I thought I gave the timings in there, and if I didn't, I will resend it because I may not have. But so yes, I would like everyone to come to the Comus Inn first and check in, because if something happens or whatever, if we need to do some changing around, we also have your orange vest for you and breakfast. So I would come there. So if you wanted to, you could get into your car, or you can like take Old 100 down, and it's a little faster or whatever. You don't, to get to your orange to go back to go that way, or you can go and start from backwards and go forward. And then like, who else is with you? Oh, Alan, I don't know. We can talk to Alan and see what you want, or you can, possibly bring your car to the rest stop at Homos.
Yeah, I have no problem doing that. I could drive it down there and then ride the route forward and then backwards.
Right. So, and then if one of you wants to ride just to Owens and go backwards, and then you meet or whatever, you can do that. So, I will hopefully at the meeting, I can either put you together, this week, or at the meeting, you can talk and see what you want to do. And then for everyone else, for the people doing the aqua, you can, kind of either go, kind of be ahead of the group here, or just take Peachtree from almost, and just take Peachtree down and meet them. And then the same for the purple, is take Peachtree down and meet at one store. So there's different ways of getting there, but the orange is further away. So all right, now I'm going to stop sharing. So yeah, as I was saying, when when you're with someone, you're kind of figuring out, going back and forth. I don't, I'm sure that a lot of you know what to what to do for sorry, I'm just like got something coming through my screen. I'm very distracted. So when you are writing, with the group and with your partner, I think that a lot of you know how to fix a chain or know how to do something with the bike. We're not asking you to necessarily do that. If you see something that you can easily, fix for someone, great. If it's a simple chain thing or whatever, help them. If not, if it's a little more complicated, we do have mechanics who are going to be stationed throughout the the course at different rest stops. And that's where some of our support vehicle people, Ethan, Arthur, Elliot, come in to you will call in to the command center and say, we need a mechanic. At that point, I would say, as long as your partner who you are with knows, so I would ask you to let your partner in your region or that you are covering know, but I would stay with the person until we get someone there. Particularly, if it's something small, that's fine. If it's a bigger issue, or if they, have a cramp or something like that, stay with them, let the other marshal know that you're staying around that area and, with them until they get picked up. When you call into the command center and you have that phone number that you will call in on your sheet, when you call in, we then look and see where you are. So get a good sense of the intersecting streets that you're closest to. You'll tell us where you are, where the person is, and then we will figure out which mechanic or sag wagon is closest, and then we will call and have the support vehicle get that person and either bring them to the mechanic to get fixed for a larger job, or if they aren't well or they have severe fatigue or something like that, we'll bring them either to a rest stop or back to the Comos Inn. I keep wanting to say the school. It keeps like I have to keep stopping this. So there, that is kind of the system we have in place. I know a lot of you have seen our little command center about the calling in and the big spreadsheets and things like that. So the other piece is if someone, and this is mainly for Jim, Youngblood, is that if someone is really lagging behind, we're going to have, and I will let Jim and An know what those timings are. But if we have, we have our little schedule of what, everything's supposed to happen. And I kind of need it to stay in that place because the police are going to be out there and they switch according, more or less according to timing. So we don't, we try and keep everything in timing. So if Jim and An, if there is someone who is really lagging behind and we will have a certain point, like if they don't get, if it's after, 2 and they're at this point, we need to pick them up. So they need to call in and we'll call one of the support vehicles and then they'll come and get them and either move them up ahead if they still want to ride or take them back to the Comos Inn. But as I said, I mean, you're really just kind of watching for things, but you don't have to take care of, anything. But, and then of course, if you see, if something, if an accident, God forbid does happen, the first thing you do is call 911, then call us because we are connected to, like I said, we have a dedicated ambulance and line, and the person is going to be in the command center with that line. So we will have, that, so immediately also call into the command center, but first do 911. Did I cover everything? I feel like I did, but let me just check and make sure. Does anyone have any questions for me?
I have one quick question. I was looking at the material you sent out, and you sent out the ride GPS files for all the different segments. Right. Did you send one out for the whole ride?
Yeah, it's at the bottom of the sheet, or like after the map. Do you see like there says the link for the 50? There should be here. Wait.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, that's just for that's the whole route. And wait, I'm just looking to see if I did all my points. Obey the rules, blah blah blah. Yes, I did want to so I think Ethan and Elliot and Art, are you still there? Yes.
Yeah.
Just so just so you know that that you will, wherever you're stationed, you will call into us like when you arrive to the place that you are, and then if you move, just call us in and say I'm moving to blankety blank, and then when you get to blankety blank, call and say I'm at blankety blank, just so we know you know, where you are as we, you know, hopefully we're not going to get any calls. I know sometimes it's a little slow for those people, but we prefer that we don't have any calls with any issues. So, but if we do, just keep the command center informed of where you are. We are on the Saturday before, going to put out the course arrows. And I have, you know, there's a few people who, I mean, like, some other support vehicle people who are going to come on Saturday just so they can get a feel of the route, and also help put out some of the arrows. So I'm going to throw that out. We're going to be at the Comos Inn, and the arrow people will go out about 10. And I'm hoping that we have enough people that it will be just like an hour to an hour and a half or something like that. So I will throw that out, and if anyone is available to do that and wants to kind of see part of that, then that will be great. I think that I have covered everything that that I wanted to cover, but let me know if there's anything else that you think I left out. We do have, in your packet of information, it does, you know, I have directions to the Comos Inn. I also have, I'm trying to, like, you do have a map. When you arrive, you will get a cue sheet, as well as that you also have all the kind of the roles that Bike Marshal and the SAD wagon, everyone does. But we will have a meeting with the police at 8 o'clock at the Comos Inn, just to go over, you know, they'll give you some other information. And Kent, I see your hand is up.
I think Arthur's was trying to actually raise the hand first, but I'll take mine after.
Doesn't matter.
All right.
I was asking, do you have data files for iGPS?
Yes, and I did not. I do. I did not send it to you. I sent it to the Bike Marshals. I will send it to you.
Please, and the other SAGs as well, if they can use them.
Yeah, thank you. Good idea.
Okay.
All right. Kent.
All right. So my question actually pertains to the route marking. Last year, I noted that the arrows seem to be placed not in a way that a cyclist would actually notice or pay attention. Like, for instance, a left turn arrow for some reason had been put on the left side of the road. They should probably have been put on the right side of the road where a cyclist would be. Unfortunately, I won't be available to help with the marking on next Saturday. But for anybody who is going to help with the marking, it would probably make a lot of sense if you could do so with a cyclist's perspective in mind.
Yeah.
Like, either do so like while riding the course, or just get out of the car and take a look at the turns or whatever from
that point of view
would see it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. That was one of the reasons why I did bring that up to you guys, because I've heard that before, you know, although I thought that some of the people that I sent out were cyclists, but I have heard that, and I really appreciate that. If anyone is available to help with the cyclist eye, but I do have two people for sure that I feel like will be able to do that. So
cool.
Thank you.
And also, for my part, I think so I'm on the pink, which is the first, I don't know, 10-mile segment or so.
Right.
I think I'm planning on just riding that one back and forth a few times, and then from there probably either jumping over to purple, which I think is the last segment, or maybe even just going back depending on what the traffic's like. But
okay. Yeah, I think so. We only as I said, we have a much smaller group. We probably have about 60 riders.
Okay.
So I think it's probably about, well, if you're in the pink, you'll have all of them, but when
Right.
it splits, the 50 is probably only about 20. So it should be, I'm hoping, it could go in two ways. It could go that it's a really, because because there's fewer, they're really spread out. And it may be a little harder, but I'm hoping that because there's fewer, they may stick together more, and then we can kind of, but we can't tell. But
So yeah, if we're only expecting 60, I'll keep that number in mind. I think I know what that looks like on the road.
Right.
And then once I get to where is that?
That's
Peachtree, I guess.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
the end
you
of
can do
pink
the
segment there.
purple,
Yeah.
you can, I did suggest if anyone wanted to go help in the orange, just because it's a little bit of a bigger segment, but again, if that's only the 50, and that should only be about 20 riders, unless we get a huge number of people signing up in the, next week or so. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm very excited, and I can't wait to have this beautiful blue sky sunny day on next Sunday.
Good luck with that.
Fingers crossed.
And if anyone has any other, suggestions or, questions or whatever, now is the time to ask me. So, and talk to me, because I'm just kind of crazy, as most of you know, on Sunday. So
yeah, I would like to clarify quickly, just briefly. The ride is on October 1st, right?
Right.
Yes, and next week some people meet up to ride and mark up the route and everything.
On Saturday, right.
Okay, cool.
So a week for the day before, the Saturday before, also at the Comos Inn. So the staff will be there, kind of setting up, and then I will be helping get the course set up as well. So there'll be a bunch of people there, but I am asking the people who are doing the course routing to come about 10. If anyone's. So,
okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a
Good to
great
see
week.
everyone.
Thank
You
you.
too. Bye.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.